Okay, Daniel, it's done. Okay. Okay. Hi, guys. Good night. I'm here today with Say Danny Rodriguez. I invite him tonight for talk with you guys a little bit. Explain to him how is his experience inside the sports, and also because he have two kids that we know them for a long time, and I want to introduce himself for you guys, and I hope this information can help you parents right now who is being home for a long time, and sometimes it's so hard to find a ways or decisions for us kids, and then I think him have a lot of information to can help us at this moment. Okay, thank you so much for being here tonight, Coach Daniel, and if you can introduce yourself for us, that's going to be amazing.
My name is Danny Rodriguez. I'm a fourth degree black belt in judo with USA Judo. I'm the head instructor at Chief Pride Judo in Lehigh Acres, and I'm also assistant instructor at Keepside National Training Center in Coconut Creek.
Yeah, and Daniel, I remember when I met you the first time. The kids is very small in Naga, and I never know about like the judo. I saw your kids doing jiu-jitsu on the time, and the time my kids don't do judo, and I saw your kids fight, and I'm like, wow, it's so amazing, eh? And then the words you have about the education and everything, they really touch me, and I say, wow, they're amazing, né? For a lot of people don't know, here in USA is very different than what I'm from, Brazil. In Brazil, all the kids start in judo, and here sometimes I don't feel, especially here in Florida, kind of like my kids, they see jiu-jitsu and they go on the time. I really look for judo, and it's hard to find a good clubs for judo, when you're from Brazil and you're looking, I'm like, I don't know, like jiu-jitsu have like 5 miles distant and have one, and judo you can see how far it is to find a place, né? And I want to explain to you, where do you start, how old you start in the sport, and you started with judo, because I know your kids does jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo.
I started at the age of 4 years old with my brother. My brother was 8 years old when I started. He was already doing judo too since he was 5. We grew up in Carroll City Judo back in the 70s. I mean, it was 1975 when I started judo. So I've been doing it for a long time, on and off in the teenager years. I left it for a while. And then when Nicholas was 5 years old, which is my oldest son, judo had taught me so much and got me to the point of where I was. I wanted them to experience the same thing I did: the hard work, the discipline, the respect. And then my younger son Dominic was 3 years old, and he started as well. So I've been doing it ever since, and that was 2006, 2007.
Yeah. And then how it is in the beginning, because that's what I think. I remember with my kids now, from his little different. Junior, his family, everybody's involved with the martial arts, and everybody did judo. And it's the first thing Junior did. My husband is judo, and then he moved for jiu-jitsu. And on the time is a different time to now. My husband don't have anything. He don't have video games. He don't have a phone on the time. He don't have he don't have all these things that kids have all the time. Now, he's the one who got a bus with 8 years old to take 2 hours to go train jiu-jitsu. And now these kids have all these opportunities to parents who pay the gym for them, drive them to there, and they complain they don't want to go, and deal with that for us, especially the parents like you who really love the sports, and you know how this can change them life, especially right now in this moment. How you think make you understand, and explain to your kids how this is important for the kids, deal with them with daddy, no, let me get my phone, why you think make your kids understand so good?
Because I see a lot of the parents nowadays, unfortunately, we want to give our kids all the stuff we didn't have growing up. We grew up in a different time, a different mentality. So nowadays, everybody wants to hand over their kids the stuff that they couldn't have. And I feel we're hurting our kids by doing that. My kids, I've always taught them, you want something, you have to work for it. Okay? you're not going to have a job, but you have to bring me A's and B's in school. You got to do good in judo. You got to do good in jiu-jitsu. You got to do good in wrestling. That's your job. And in turn, I'll give you the luxuries that I didn't have. You know, apart from the necessities, things like that. You want something, he wants a PlayStation. Okay, you're gonna work for it. You got to give me the grades. Once you don't give me that, unfortunately, I got to take those away.
It's not easy, né? It's not easy because they're like, why? Everybody have, you know, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but they have to know that, you know, in life, nothing's going to be handed to you. And anything that's given to you freely like that, you don't value it. Yeah. So my kids, you know, have learned the old school way of valuing something and having to work for it and have discipline and respect for it. And in turn, you have it.
Yeah, the Dominic and Nick, how old they are on the time they start? And they started doing judo first? What they did it first?
They started judo first. After about 2 years doing judo, I mixed in the jiu-jitsu. With Sensei Jimmy Perez down in Miami. He started incorporating the jiu-jitsu into their judo, and that's when I started taking them to Naga tournaments. And they were catching everybody by surprise because they had the judo, the throws, and stuff like that. And it incorporated into well-rounded fighters.
And then Daniel, when you talk with them right now, because I know how both you are personal, but the people who watch, they don't know, you know, and they have different personalities, you know. Can you explain to me how deal with different personalities and different goals, you know, because sometimes people asking, I have this problem with my kids, you know, they're so different. Now, Luisa, she's not competitor, but she likes to fight, but she likes to do the competition. She loves to train. And George, he's a extreme competitor with everything. Everything he does, he's so competitor, but he don't have the discipline my daughter have, you know. Then I have to deal with different ways and, you know, balance, because for me, my husband, the competition never be a priority. For us, the priority is what's the sport teaching your kids, you know, to not give up and different things. But I always explain to them, it's good sometimes try to explain to them, you don't need to like, that's okay, but you're not quick before you black belt, you know what I mean? Because you start something, you have to finish, you know. Then explain how you do it, how's your kids different, how when they start, if they like it, if they don't like it, how they start like the competitions.
Well, Nicholas, which he's the older one, he's 18 right now. When he was actually smaller, he didn't enjoy the judo at all. He basically would complain that he's got a stomach ache or a headache and think of any excuse not to go to class. And until it got to a point where I was fed up with it. It's always having to fight with them and push them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make you a deal. I'll take Dominic to judo. We'll go and do our class, but you're not going to sit at home. So you're going to go with mommy. You're going to go with the library and you're going to read a book. For those 2 or 3 hours that we're at judo, you're going to read. Okay? Because you have to do some work too. You're not going to stay home and play video games. Yeah. He tried it for one day. The next day he says, Dad, I think I want to give judo another try. And he's been doing judo for 14 years already. So it kind of worked.
Yeah, and then about the competitions, when they start, you ask them to do it, or you the one say, no, let's try, you know, or they decide they want to do it?
Nicholas, I had to push him in order to compete because he really didn't want to compete. Dominic, in turn, he was not even 5 years old and wanted to compete because he started at 3 years old doing judo. So you have to be 5 years old. He was a 4.5. He goes, no, Dad, I could do it. I want to compete. I want to do it. They're completely different personalities. Didi's the hard worker. Dominic's the hard worker. He's always disciplined. He runs. He drinks his protein shakes. He's constantly pushing his brother. Till today, he's still doing it.
So he's still doing that. That's super fun. And then about a family, because another thing they always say is like, I know how's your wife always support this, né? Because like I have different clients and I see the difference when the dad loves the son doing and the wife don't understand the values yet. I say that's not that she don't want him doing. She don't got the values yet. What's gonna be for the future, you know? Then I know how's your wife support for everything. She help buy the tickets. She go back and do this, and I because she's understand. She ever did in martial arts too? Then you know.
No, no, never. It took her a little while in the beginning to understand, but she came around to it, and she saw the changes in them early on, as far as that it takes hard work to get to where you want to go. Nothing's going to be handed to you. You got to really work hard, discipline yourself, not look for instant gratification. Sometimes you could train for a whole year and go to the big tournament and still not win. But it builds your character, and it builds your heart to put everything you have into it. It took her a little bit to understand that, and I wouldn't be able to run a club, push the kids in judo, travel all around the world with them if it wasn't for her.
For her, yes, I know how this support it is. And can you tell everything they're doing, because I know they do wrestling also too. Can you tell me like how they are, the routine in your house? No, now, because I know it's different. I know they still working out, but before everything happened, before COVID-19 and now after COVID, what's the difference in your house right now?
Well, basically, our life consisted of, okay, for example, I'm going to give you the kids. The kids wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They leave the house by 6:30, go to school, start at 7. They would get out at 1:40 in the afternoon. From there, they would walk over to the wrestling room to start wrestling at 2 o'clock till about 4:30. Okay, I mean training. At 4:30, they would come home, take a quick shower, and on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they would leave at 5 o'clock and drive 2 hours to Coconut Creek to train at Kitusai from 7 to 9. Grab something to eat real fast, get home. They will get home at 11:30 at night every day.
And remember how long time it is to drive from your house from there, just people know,
Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive.
It is
exactly 2 hours and about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's not easy. Né? We always say that, and you bring the good points. Then sometimes people don't understand. I remember now before COVID happened, George got this invite to Copa Podio, and then for him it's very frustration because he always won the Pan American. Then this year he have like 5 hard mats and he lost in the final for the kid who he don't know who is the kid. Then the first thing he told me, now I have to train, because I have to tell honest with you, mommy. I don't train 100% for the Pan because I really think I'm good. Then now I'm lose for this kid. I need to win this kid. Okay. Now you decide to be trained, serious for, and then because he fought the same kid and he go there and win. And I explained to the parents the same maturity the kids don't have right now to understand the importance to have a routine for your kid. It's beside and everything. Because it's not about, okay, I care if my son is going to win or lose because he just lost for the kid. No, because I want my kids fight for something he wants. The same in school, the same at job. Man, right now, so many people's going bad situation. They can go to bad directions, go start have jobs to try to fight himself. Okay, what I can do, what I can do, because that's what it is. When I think the sport is teaching you, nothing's easy, then you can never give up for the things. I think that's the point for me, then I think some parents don't understand about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some parents make it too easy for the kids. And what the sports do is it builds character. It realizes how much they need to work to get to reach their goals. I'm going to give you an example of Nicholas. Nicholas was the one that really didn't want to do judo in the beginning. He stuck through it. He had a hard time, but he learned the hard work over the years, where 3 years ago, he was born with scoliosis, where his spine was completely twisted. It looked like a snake. He had to have surgery and put metal rods in his spine in order to straighten him out, because it was pushing on his organs and stuff like that. They told him he would never be able to play sports again. Well, he learned to work out. He had the discipline to condition his body and put himself back in the situation where he got back into judo, he got back into wrestling, and he went to the state championships. He took fourth in the state championships in wrestling, and he's been to Romania, to Panama, to all over the world doing judo when they told him not even 3 years ago that he would never do it.
You saw that's amazing. That's make it completely different about everything, you know.
Yeah,
And then,
it taught him hard work and to fight for what you want, and it's not going to be easy.
no, of course, never is be easy. And then I think that's what and how you deal. They still complain sometimes when they have to work out or no, how they are right now. Because and also I want you explain to them too how they are life with like friendships and you know like to deal with, because I feel that's another point for me why my kids involved with the sports, you know, because I know they get the best friendships, like how we met each other, you know, and I know it's sometimes we never every day together, but I know somebody else I trust, take my kids, go, you know, say Saint-Germain, because I know you guys like a family and they take care the way I believe. And sometimes in school, every year they change, the friends is different. You go to school one day, the next day they move up, it's not the same class. If you start sports not quick, you're going to continue have the same friends. And this is so important for life, you know?
Even the competitors that you compete against in the judo and the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling, you're growing up together. I have friends that I grew up competing with in judo that I still deal with. I'm 49 years old and I'm still friends with them from the sport. It's incredible. They actually have learned to pick their friends, not just go with the bad influences or the ones they think that are cool. No, they look for ones that have like-minded goals in mind. The ones that are doing the jiu-jitsu, the ones that are doing the judo, that have goals, that realize that one little mess up or something is going to mess your life up. So they pick their friends that have common interests.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, there's no price you can put on that.
Price, and if you can devise them like in different group the age, because I say to me, I think your kids is in the hard age right now, you know, like kind of teenagers. They already drive, they're already doing all these kind of things. And I think your hard work all these years, like with them complain they don't want to train, make now much easier than them parents who decide to them. And here again, guys, we're not here to tell if it's wrong or right. We just tell what's been working. Here's the proof. I even gonna share some pictures now with his kids, very small, and how they are right now. And doesn't matter where you go. And I see these kids, they come to say, hi, how you doing? Like a basic, simple things, the education, then I guarantee you that's not teaching your school. That's teaching martial arts, because we teach them, look in your eyes. Now we're going to no shake hands, but man, hello, how you doing? Basic things, the education, then it's super important inside the martial arts, you know? Then I think when they're small, I remember when George started, and it's super hard. Jiu-jitsu, he fell in love soon he started, because he fought my daughter. But when I decided, and he told me, Mommy, that's what I want. I want to be better. I want to train. Okay, then for you continue doing jiu-jitsu, you need to learn judo. Not just because judo is going to help your jiu-jitsu, but I really believe in judo martial arts. That's my opinion, you know. The discipline in judo is still a little bit different than jiu-jitsu. And they're both together, for me, it's super important. Then I remember how many times I need to grab him to really go in the car right now. And sometimes I say I give up. Why? I can go to do, you know, to do my things, to go to the salon, do my hair, to not deal and sit down 2 hours and watch my kid doing something and he don't like it. But now I look, I'll just 5, 6, 7 years and I've been doing this. And I know how this helped my kids be much better person. And I say, thank God I did it. Because first of all, he's understand, number one, I'm the boss. It's not him take a decision if it's important for him or no. Because when I have parents to tell me, Anna, my kid don't like, what do I mean your kid don't like it? He did one class. It's impossible. If you eat fish the first time, you don't like it. But you eat it 2, 3 times, you love sushi after. Then give a time, you know? And if you think that's important for your kid, you decide. It's not him decide, That's my opinion, Then, and now this stage, when they're smaller, when like my kids' age and the teenager, each one is the hard time you have for deal with the kids to explain to them the importance for the sport.
When they're smaller, the bigger sacrifice comes from the parents. Okay, the kids are basically your kids. They're gonna do what you force them to do, or you think it's best for you to do. It takes a lot of discipline on the parents' part to say, hey, okay, this is the routine I've chosen for you. You have school, you do your homework, you go to jiu-jitsu, you go to judo. It's our responsibility to do what's right for our children. Okay, they're gonna look for the easy way outs, the video games and stuff. They're gonna do what they like. Now, my kids, I had to do the whole hand holding, the make sure they're do their homework, to get to class, to do whatever. Now it's gotten to a point where they're 16 and they're 18 years old. Now they come to me, Dad, I'm gonna go run. Okay, I'm gonna go to the garage and do a workout. I'm going to Kitu side tomorrow. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Because it was instilled in them in the early stages of their life.
Mm-hmm.
This is your routine. This is what you have to do to be a champion. This is what you need to do to reach your goals. So now it's automatic. Now when I say, oh, when Daddy wants to take the break, no, Dad, we got to do this. Okay, so now they're pushing me to get them to train.
Yeah, and then I think that's what it is. I think like I have another day talk with Stephanie Diaz Mestrão. He's a very conditioned coach. He trained high-level professional fighters. He studied in Russia, and he told me, Anna, if the kids start young doing exercise, they're always gonna continue doing. And the exercise doesn't matter if you're gonna be a champion or not. This is just gonna have better heart. They're gonna have a health better and everything. And then when your body understand that, you always wanna. But if you never does, you're never gonna want to do it. Then 1 hour a day, that's not gonna hurt. You know what I mean? I don't think that hurts nobody. Then I think it's the best things you can give for your kid. And I think this is something that I guarantee you. Now he's complaining, but it's gonna be helping the future a lot for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're gonna have their points where they complain and they want the easy way out, but again, they need it. It's our job to sacrifice when we need to sacrifice and do what's best for the kids. The kids do not know. The kids are basically gonna follow your example or your recommendation, and it's our job to do what's best for the kids. I think the best thing for kids is to learn the discipline, the respect of martial arts, the hard work, the determination and all that, from the judo, jiu-jitsu, from the wrestling, from all of that. I mean, to me, that's more important than anything else.
Yeah. And Daniel, now how their routine with the COVID-19? How the kids doing? How the routine now for them?
Now the routine has changed, and actually all the hard work and sacrifice they did before comes into play in the tough situations. Mm-hmm. Because now when all this started, we had to close down the dojo. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, oh, can you bring some mats to the garage, Dad? Okay, mm-hmm. I brought some mats to the garage. Dad, we need more weights. We want to do more physical training. Okay, when we bought them a gym set to do the stuff. They know what it takes to stay where they're at, and they're wanting to be there. They don't want to lose what they've worked so hard to gain. Yeah.
And then Daniel, because we're doing a lot of classes by Zoom, and in the beginning, the mothers the same thing. Anna, it's so hard to put them on the TV. My class, my living room is so small, and blah blah blah. It's easy. I do the same. Sometimes I wake up and I have my bike every day to run, and I put, when this COVID starts, I say, doesn't matter what, it's 45 minutes. Doesn't matter what, 45 minutes. I say, and sometimes my knee, we make excuse, and I'm like, I remember I have the commit, then I have to do it. Né? And then another point the mothers bring to me is like, Anna, it's so hard because the same situation, they are brothers. And I see, because I put Ana Luisa and George over here, and they go to the class, and I'm here in my office, and I see, They fight all the time. Your kids usually fight when they're young before. How you do deal with that on the time, And then other things we do in the life is like, mother, if not work, let the coach handle. If not, they're gonna work in the dorm. Put the dorm and the kids working separate. But from me, I teach my kids it's important them understand the training together are gonna help both, because that's mean both is gonna learning, with this situation. And it's the same relationship. I fight with my husband all the time, but guess what? Suck it up and make work. That's what I tell them. Then I tell the parents, make the kids understand they need to help each other. Then how your kids, they fight too much when they train, how they train together.
The funny thing, I've been lucky that they do not fight. They've always gotten along because they're completely different personalities. Mm-hmm. Nick has a more passive, laid back, do whatever, does whatever everybody says kind of attitude. Dominic is the more hard-headed, the more stubborn, the one that has to push. He's kind of like me, and Nicholas is like my wife. Mm-hmm. But I've instilled in them in the early part, this is your best friend. This is your brother, but this is your best friend. This is the one that's gonna basically have your back throughout life. Not a stranger you meet on the street, not a friend in school, nothing like. This is the one that's gonna want the best for you always. You're gonna push each other, you're gonna help each other, and you're gonna always watch each other's backs. And judo and jiu-jitsu, all that teaches that. Basically, you form a bond. You kind of like the saying, you cry, you bleed, you sweat together. It forms a bond within people that after many years, it's irreplaceable. That's something you can't break. Yeah. They now push each other to stay training, to stay doing the jiu-jitsu, the judo, the wrestling. They push each other, and it's.
Yeah. I think you got the point. The same thing. It's about education. Spend time talking, deal with the kid, and then nobody told is easy. To be a parent is not easy. It's the same. We run. If you have a patient, you have to deal with your company when you own the company, or if you work for a business, you have to deal. You need to figure out. Okay, if you don't work this way, let's work different ways. Like George is still now is the same. Oh, I'm going to do Zoom. What? I don't have fights coming up. I'm like, George, I don't care. You're doing because you continue doing the thing. Okay, you're not doing, no problem. Don't have video game, don't have nothing all day. Okay, I'm doing, Then you have to understand. And Aloisa, it's opposite. Zoom class now, mommy, let's go. I have to do it. Then, you have to understand what you need. But if you need to be strong, you need to be strong. If you need to fire somebody else in your company, doesn't matter if you love them, you fire because you're going to lose money. Then I think it's the same thing. It's education, it's spend time. And we know how hard it is. If it's easy, everybody's doing, if it's easy, everybody's doing, but right. I think that's the point. We need to, more we say and explain to parents, and talk about that, we know how gonna touch them hard to understand. It's not easy for us, but if we can do it, you can do it,
Yeah, it's just like school. They have to attend school. They have to do good in order to get the education, to have the good job, to have the career or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, the martial arts is the same aspect. You want to raise a good child. You want to raise a good boy or girl to be respectful in the community, to have the discipline. And my job was to sacrifice at the early stages. And where a lot of parents get confused is they want to be best friends with their kids, which is completely fine to a certain point. My job is to be the parent. I'm going to have to be the bad guy sometimes. I'm going to have to be the best friend sometimes. But I have to make the decisions for them that I feel that they're going to progress in life. Mm-hmm. That's going to teach them a sense of value and raise them to be good. Back in when they were younger, my wife's family would actually fight with me a lot. Oh, it's always about the martial arts. It's always this and this. And they would fight with me. Let them be kids. I let them be kids. Yeah. But they also need to know they have a responsibility. Mm-hmm. Bring me good grades in school and the martial arts. Like you said, it's 45 minutes out of the day right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have 24 hours in a day. You're awake for 16 of those. 45 minutes out of the day is not much to ask for.
Yeah.
You have the video games, you have the telephones, you have the bikes, the ATVs, the whatever. You get me. My job is 45 minutes.
Yes, yes. No, I agree 100%. 100%. Daniel, I want to share some photos, then I pick it up from people just can see your beautiful family. And when I show you the pictures, I'm gonna share here. Um, Let me share here. And if you can explain one, just I don't know if you can see.
Oh boy, yeah.
The first one is brown belt. You remember how old? And here you guys already together, is already in the competition, you guys.
That was their first Sunshine State Games. I think Dominic was 5 years old and Nicholas was 7.
That's awesome.
And that was their first state championship in judo. And we were up in Lakeland, I believe.
That's super nice. And I have this one here. I think this is from this year, nah?
That's, yes, Nicholas's senior year in wrestling. This was his graduation for the last wrestling match that he would have in high school.
That's awesome.
In his actual school.
This is cool. I found this one in your quoting because I know Daniel's kind of the person, he loves so much the sports, and sometimes you go to the competition, I see my son's going, Daniel, go coach him, and he go help, it's amazing.
Well, that's coaching at the US Open, the picture on the left, and the picture on the right is Dominic. That's in Kazakhstan in the World Championships back in August.
That's super nice. And
that was he was 15 years old.
Wow.
That was in the US Open, where it was Nick's first US Open back after his surgery, where he won a gold medal in his division, and Dominic won 2 gold medals plus the Outstanding Competitor Award.
Wow. Look at you. So wow. So small, I know.
The one on the right, it was after a Naga tournament, I believe. That we went to, and again, they studied their jiu-jitsu, their judo, and they have actually 4 Naga belts each.
That's super.
But I don't know how many swords and stuff like that. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I have to share this because I know a lot of people don't know your kids. Then I really want to show you, especially because, unfortunately, it's my opinion again, guys, no judo, but I don't think judo don't have so much support the way they have in Brazil for the kids, and because I come from there, and then I can talk from there, and I can see the different here, and sometimes I feel, especially jiu-jitsu right now, I can tell how, especially right now, if you Instagram and you have this, thank God my son have a lot of opportunities and help, because if it's just me, I can't afford. You know how it's expensive, all these competitions and everything. Then thank God we have supports to help them doing and follow their dreams, but that's what I say. It doesn't matter if they go to competition or not. Train, they will. Doesn't matter it is. Because I always tell the parents, look at my husband. He never have a dream to be a competitor. He never have a dream to be a coach. He always want to do jiu-jitsu because he loved the sports the same way he loved, and he's super dedication. But if you don't have jiu-jitsu in our life today, we're not here in America. We're not having our house and the job, because now he does what he loves, teaching people and do what he loved. Then maybe your son doing jiu-jitsu and you think, oh, it's just a sport, doesn't matter, he's gonna be a doctor. Who knows? Then he can be a coach, because you look your kids, they are black belt in judo. Look how many opportunities open. If this don't go through correct, you can have always this thing. In the end of the day, if not be a coach, you continue have a lot of education, respect, and also health way. Né?
Yeah, well, in my particular scenario, I was a decent competitor when I did judo. I was not a high-level elite player. It just wasn't in me. I didn't actually have the discipline that my kids have now. But I studied, I did my black belt at a young age, and when I came back, I had a gift for teaching. Yeah. So I gave back to the sport by teaching, and I started my own club in 2013. I've got 5 Pan American champions that have come out of my dojo. Dominic's a 5-time Pan American champion.
Mhm.
He's a world team member. We traveled all over the world, and they surpassed me in what I did. Again, I wasn't a great competitor. They happen to be great competitors.
Yeah.
It all depends on where you fit in.
Exactly. It's just going to give opportunity, you know. Then again,
Yes.
it's just going to give opportunity. You know, it's easy to us because we already involved when we just see the positive things. And but again, it is a lot of hard work, you know. Then the idea to bring you here, then you one more time, thank you so much for spending your day, and it's your wife birthday today, and spend just like
It's my
half
pleasure.
an hour for me and share. And if I can have 2-3 parents hear that and understand what's the point for this video, I'm gonna be super happy, because the way the future is going, more, remember, the kids is the new generation. They are the future. And then if we can have a kids with a good education, health, and I think this is just gonna help in the future.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's my pleasure, Anna. You know, we're in the martial arts world. We're like a family. We're a big martial art community, whether it's judo, jiu-jitsu, and we're always there to support each other. Again, if one parent can understand is sacrifice for your children, nobody's going to sacrifice for them if it's not you.
Yeah,
And you need to do what's best for your kids, basically.
that's amazing, Daniel. Thank you